Welcome to Marketing Made Simple TV. I'm Jeff Ogden, the host of the show, and we're thrilled to have you back once again. And we've got another great guest on this show, and we're going to do some very pragmatic stuff today, talking about a specific marketing campaign with Lisa Dreher, the VP of Marketing at Logicalis. So let's welcome Lisa to the show. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Jeff. It's great to be here.
Good to have you here too, and it's good to finally meet you in person. I'm going to give you the same question I give every guest on the show when we start off, and it's a very simple question. Who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm Lisa Dreher. I'm the VP of Marketing for Logicalis, and I fancy myself a reasonably good B2B marketer. Logicalis is an IT solution provider. We have offices around the globe in about 40 different countries. So the marketing role here at Logicalis is a big one.
Very good, and thank you, Lisa. Now, I just to recap, I found you when Lee Odin wrote this blog post about like 11 killer marketing campaigns with ROI, and Logicalis was in there. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about, that blog post and how it came about and what campaign it was.
Right. So the campaign came about within Logicalis. We were talking about what we needed to do to really share key information with our customers. Right now within IT, there's an enormous amount of change and shift and disruptive changes within the industry. And what we were really trying to figure out was how can we help our customers and other folks out there that are dealing with this just incredible shift and change within the way IT is delivered within organizations, and how do we provide the information that those people need to make smart decisions, to understand what they need to do to keep up with the pace of change and really keep their organizations not only running but ready to take on what the future holds within technology and business. So I guess from there what we did was we decided what we were going to do, and what we wanted to really figure out was a way to communicate on an ongoing basis. And we pulled together a number of resources and then figured out that we would need to deliver those in a number of different ways. So we leveraged email, and we leveraged a microsite. We had an ebook, some very high value content that we could share with our customers and prospects, as well as a lot of other, like I said, high value content that these folks could use. In terms of the actual award that we won, we essentially submitted the campaign for their consideration, and they really liked the content and the way that we were delivering that content.
Great. It sounds very interesting. So tell us a little bit about what were the results of the campaign. How effective was it?
Well, it was incredibly effective, actually more effective than we had not intended, but than we expected. We essentially targeted about 2,000 IT leaders, and we had an 11 to 15% click-through rate. So it was a series of emails. So from each of the emails, we saw an 11 to 15% click-through rate. We had 100 to 200 unique opens on each of the email messages, and ultimately we ended up with about $8 million in revenue. And the thing that was really, I guess, surprising about it was that we didn't set out to sell. Obviously with any marketing campaign you hope that you will sell, but really our intent was to communicate and share valuable information. And I think that's what content marketing is really all about, is sharing that information and doing it in a way that is valuable to the users. And clearly having, I guess, good intentions paid off.
I agree with you. It certainly sounds like good intentions paid off, Lisa, and congratulations on those results. So let's go back to what I'll call the birthing process, right? Those campaigns just don't just fall out of the air, and they're not just instantly successful. How do you figure out what customers need? How do you go about building the ebook? How do you build the microsite? You know, all these things. How do you get the list of things you have to do?
Right. So there are a lot of things that go into developing not only a campaign like this, but really the foundation that you need in general to be able to roll out a campaign and have it be successful, especially when you're talking about the content marketing piece. We, like a lot of marketers today, leverage marketing automation and marketing, CRM applications as well to support our initiatives and really drive the campaign from start to finish. But there's a lot of other things that we do. We did preliminary research to really understand what the customers were grappling with. And we used a number of different sources. So we used some of the typical sources like the Gartners and Forresters and IDC that follow the IT industry and provide a lot of information about where the market is going and what the trends are and things like that. But then we also leveraged social listening, and we were able to look at all of the conversations that IT leaders were having around key IT initiatives and issues and challenges, as well as some of the opportunities that they were seeing in ways to cut down costs within their data centers, to increase efficiency, to size down their footprint, and things like that. And so as we looked at what it was that they were talking about, it also put some of those trends that we saw from the third-party research into more of a real-world light that we could use. And so that was one really effective thing that we did is leverage the research and leverage social media and social listening to understand what people were grappling with and what they really wanted to understand and where they were looking for information but couldn't find it. And that put us in a position to provide some of that key information that they really needed. The other thing that we did was we really ensured that we had very, very clear goals. And a lot of times when marketers start out with programs, they have really clear goals, but then once they get to the execution part, sometimes they lose track of what the goals are. So we made it a practice to constantly go back and think about what was it that we were intending to accomplish with our initiative and make sure that we were staying true to those original goals. So that was the second thing that we did that was really important and I think helped in the success of this program. The other thing that we took quite a lot of time to do was simply to talk to our sales team. And I know this doesn't seem like an unusual thing to do. However, a lot of times I think we as marketers have a tendency to go away and we have all of our great trends research, we have all of this information, and sometimes we forget to talk to the people that are actually speaking day to day to our customers. And that is another thing that really made a difference in this. We got some ideas from the sales team that we weren't really necessarily considering originally, and they added some really good aspects to the campaign. For example, they really wanted to have ongoing communication throughout this program. So not only was this a program that was focused toward end users, customers, prospects, it was also, we had a number of communications that went out throughout the program also to our sales team as well as to our partners. And this really helped, I think, keep these topics top of mind, not only with the customers, but also with the partners and our own salespeople. And it just made a phenomenal difference, I think, in the outcome of the campaign that kind of almost having a campaign within a campaign to those that would be taking the campaign forward and really speaking with the customers about this ultimately. The other thing that we did was we thought beyond the initial campaign. So we didn't just roll out the campaign and hope that everything would work out and we'd have great results. But we thought about what we would do with folks that maybe weren't ready to talk with us yet or didn't have a specific initiative that they were working on. And so we thought about what comes next. What comes next after that first step? So I think those 4 things really made the difference. You know, having those clear goals, really understanding the trends and what customers were interested in and trying to figure out, working with the sales team, getting their input and understanding their perspectives and what they were hearing, and then really understanding what we were going to do beyond the initial program.
That's great, Lisa. I mean, doing your homework and really understanding, and social listening, I thought was a very interesting one. I don't know many companies that actually do that, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And looking at trends in the industry, talking to your salespeople, I think, is a great tip as well as looking at, you know, what comes next. What are the long-term plans? So. Let's just talk a little bit about marketing automation, because you use marketing automation, you use CRM. What role did those tools play in this and other marketing campaigns?
Right. So this obviously played a key role. It plays a key role in everything that we do. We obviously track what folks are doing. So are they clicking through as a result of receiving a message from us? What are they doing when they get to the site? Are they downloading content? Which content are they downloading? How much time are they spending on the site? You know, how many things are they downloading? Are they watching videos? So and then we not only track them for the course of the campaign, but we track those folks beyond that, so we can see where their interests lie. It allows us to give. And of course, it's nothing new. Anyone that's using automation does these same things. But it allows you to really give the salespeople some valuable information so that when they go to speak with these customers, they really know where their interest lies. So they're not, you know, trying to talk to them about every single thing that the company does. They're talking to them about the things that really are interesting to that particular customer.
It's interesting. It sounds like marketing automation and things is an invaluable tool, but marketing automation alone doesn't get anything done. Like you said, doing the research, doing the social listening. How do you put it all together? How do you get, let's talk about staffing. Let's talk about software. Let's talk about how do you put the whole program, marketing program together for a big global company like Logicalis?
Right. So it is a big job. We generally do things that are somewhat localized to a particular geography. So, you know, we might do something in the U.S. that is specific to the U.S. market, and something different or slightly different for the Latin American market. It's an emerging market. They have, you know, necessarily different needs and requirements, so, or different focus areas, things that they're needing to accomplish. So we really, it depends on the market, and I actually have counterparts in other geographies that run those geographies and come up with programs that will specifically work. But we do run global campaigns that aim to give a bigger picture perspective. For example, there's a campaign that we did that was around tomorrow's workplace, and the whole idea was about how we can set up organizations to be ready for tomorrow's workplace. And what tomorrow's workplace means is, you know, being able to really collaborate effectively, using mobile technologies to communicate, using video, kind of like we're doing here today, to communicate and share information across an organization with your partners, with your vendors, with your customers, and, you know, making it all play and work together. And so there are a number of things that we do across all of the geographies, and then some things that we do just within localized. In terms of actually pulling it together, there's, like I said, a lot of pre-work that goes into it. So understanding what are people focusing on, what are they interested in, most importantly, what is it that they can't seem to find? Is there information that they cannot find, that they're having trouble, either getting resources that they need or tools that they need? And that's where we've really found that, if we can fill that gap, that really, really pays off in a big, big way. So I think it's those things that make the difference. So once we have and really understand what the needs are, what information people are looking for, then it's a matter of actually creating that content, right? So we have, terrific, very, very smart technical people within the organization, technical consultants and solution architects that work with our customers every day, that understand the technology, that help us put that information together. And once we have the tools designed, sometimes we will provide tools that are online tools that people can use to assess their current situation or look into the future on what they might want to do in the future and how they might want to transition their technology over time. Once we have those tools created, then it's a matter of figuring out, well, where are we going to place that information? How are we going to make that information available to any number of people? And of course, we use email, like we mentioned in this campaign. We also expand beyond. So the campaign, I mentioned some of the campaign elements, the email, the microsite, and so forth. At the same time, though, we were also doing things like public relations. So we had press releases that were going out on related or exactly the same topics. We had social media that we were running, social media campaigns that we were running at the same time. We had our blog, and our blog had content that was related content to the campaign. So we had a number of places where this content was utilized. So the good news is, once you create some high value content that people are looking for, there's a number of ways you can use that and increase the viability of that, as well as the credibility by seeing it across so many different outlets. So that really made a difference.
That's great, Lisa. I mean, if I had to restate what you said, first of all, I'd say it's not about you. Right? It's not about you and your company or your products. It's about the customers and what their concerns are, their issues, their questions, and also doing, reaching out all different ways. So I wish we had more time to talk, Lisa, because it's been fascinating, but we got to cut it a little short. So what I would like to do for our viewers is give them a chance to learn more about you and Logicalis and what you do. So what do you recommend? Where do they go? How can they learn about you and what you do for Logicalis?
So there's a couple places. One, certainly you can visit the Logicalis website, which is us.logicalis.com for the US site. For the global site, if you want the global picture, you can go to logicalis.com. And I also, for me, if you're interested in additional information, I do an ongoing blog on AdAge. So if you search my name on AdAge, you can get some of my posts that I've done on their blog. And what I do is I interview C-level titles, typically CEOs of organizations, and ask them for feedback on different marketing topics and get their views. And I've gotten some incredible, valuable information from these conversations, and I share them on the blog. So feel free to check that out.
So we have a link right here at the top of the show where you can look, where you can go directly to the AdAge post. So click on the button, you'll go directly to it. You don't have to remember her name or anything. So very, very good. But Lisa, I want to thank her for being a great guest on the show. Really interesting stuff. Before we go, we want to thank sponsors, because sponsors make our show go. Avitage is a great content marketing company in the Boston area. Jim Burns, good friend of mine, runs that company. DigitalEthos.org is an educational company, nonprofit. Communication Strategy Group, run by Arthur Germain, actually works with Logicalis. Great, Arthur Germain runs that organization. And Watchitoo provides this great platform we use for a TV on the internet show, TV on the web show, I'll say. Marketing Made Simple TV premieres every Thursday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. It encores on Sunday at noon, 9 a.m. Pacific, and it syndicates 14 days after the premiere. So till next time, we'll see you again on Marketing Made Simple TV.